Cristiano Ronaldo stood in the center of his luxurious kitchen, a rare smile spreading across his face as he looked at the ingredients laid out in front of him. The stainless steel countertops gleamed, and the high-end appliances sat ready for use. Tonight, for the first time in ages, he had decided to cook for himself. It wasn't that he didn't have access to top-tier chefs or any shortage of skilled hands in the kitchen. Quite the opposite. His kitchen staff knew his preferences down to the last detail, but tonight, he wanted to take control. He wanted to cook something simple but meaningful. After all, he was a man who had conquered every challenge on the football field, but could he conquer the culinary arts? Tonight, I'll make something special, he muttered to himself, glancing through a cookbook on his counter. His eyes settled on a recipe for a healthy vegetable stir-fry, something light and nutritious. He could already picture the vibrant colors of bell peppers, zucchini, and crisp greens sizzling in a hot pan, accompanied by some lean chicken and a perfectly balanced sauce. It seemed like the perfect meal to unwind after a long day of training. With a quick flick of his wrist, he pulled out his phone and ordered the necessary ingredients online. He'd had enough of the usual pre-made meals and food deliveries. This time, he wanted to experience the entire process himself, even if that meant dealing with the hassle of grocery shopping, albeit through a delivery service. The app confirmed that his order would arrive in 30 minutes. Ronaldo stretched his arms, cracking his knuckles in preparation for the task ahead. He was excited, maybe even a little giddy, at the thought of being the chef tonight. It wasn't long before the buzzer rang. Ronaldo moved quickly, opening the front door to greet the delivery driver. The young man handed over a large paper bag, his face lighting up when he recognized the football star. Ronaldo gave him a quick nod, took the bag, and watched as the driver sped off. Inside the bag, he found all the ingredients he'd ordered, at least, that's what he thought. But as he unpacked the contents, his heart sank. The first thing that caught his eye were the vegetables. The zucchini was limp, its once vibrant green color now a dull shade of yellow. The bell peppers were soft, with spots of brown discoloration creeping along their sides. The spinach looked wilted, withered like it had been left out in the sun for days. Ronaldo picked up the zucchini, inspecting it carefully. He could tell it wasn't fresh, not even close. He frowned. "What is this?" he muttered under his breath. His mind raced. He had ordered this food with the expectation that everything would be top-notch. He was a professional, and he expected no less when it came to quality. For a brief moment, he felt an overwhelming sense of frustration. Cooking was supposed to be his escape, a chance to relax, but it seemed like even his food had betrayed him. Ronaldo's competitive spirit flared. He wasn't one to back down from a challenge, not even in the kitchen. He quickly dialed the customer service number for the delivery service. As the phone rang, he paced back and forth in his kitchen, his mind already working on a solution. The operator picked up. "Hello, how may I help you?" "I've received a delivery with bad produce," Ronaldo said, keeping his voice calm but firm. "The vegetables are not fresh. The zucchini is spoiled, and the bell peppers are soft." "I'm terribly sorry about that, sir," the operator said. "We will send out a replacement immediately. Please hold on, and I'll have our team arrange for a new delivery." "Wait," Ronaldo interrupted, his voice sharp. "I don't want a replacement. I want to know how this happened. I expected fresh ingredients. I can't cook with this." The operator hesitated for a moment, then responded, "I understand, sir. Let me check with our supplier and see what went wrong. We can issue a refund for the order, if you prefer." Ronaldo paused. A refund was fine, but it wouldn't fix his evening. He still needed fresh vegetables to make the stir-fry. "I appreciate that, but I'm not just looking for a refund. I want to cook tonight. I want to make this work." There was a brief silence on the other end of the line. The operator seemed to be considering this request. Finally, he spoke. "Okay, sir, I'll make a note of your request and see what we can do. If you'd like, I can try to find a nearby store that can deliver fresh produce to you right away." Ronaldo sighed. "Yes, do that. I'll wait." It was another 30 minutes before another delivery arrived, this time from a different supplier. Ronaldo opened the door to find another paper bag, this one bulging with fresh, crisp vegetables. He could smell the freshness of the produce before he even touched it, earthy, green, and fragrant. The zucchini was firm, the bell peppers had a vibrant red and yellow hue, and the spinach looked as though it had just been harvested. Relieved, Ronaldo brought the bag into the kitchen and began to unpack it carefully. There was something meditative about the act of preparing food. He admired the vegetables as he washed them, peeling the skin off the zucchini with his knife and slicing the bell peppers into thin strips. The vegetables seemed to come to life in his hands, their colors more vivid than ever. As he set them aside and prepared the chicken, he felt his initial frustration begin to melt away. Cooking, he realized, was not just about following a recipe, it was about creating something from scratch. It was about taking control of an outcome, even when things seemed to be going wrong. His mind drifted to the many times he had faced adversity on the football field. There had been moments when it seemed like the odds were stacked against him, but he had always found a way to push through. Whether it was an injury or an opponent who seemed unbeatable, Ronaldo had always managed to find a solution. This challenge in the kitchen was no different. With the vegetables and chicken prepped, he heated the pan, feeling the familiar satisfaction of his surroundings. The sizzle of the oil in the hot pan was music to his ears. Slowly, he added the vegetables, stirring them carefully to ensure they cooked evenly. The colors began to pop: red, green, yellow, orange, a true feast for the eyes. The scent was intoxicating, and Ronaldo couldn't help but smile as he flipped the chicken breast with ease. He worked quickly, yet with a calm intensity that was a trademark of his focus. The stir-fry took shape beautifully. He added a touch of soy sauce, a dash of garlic, and a sprinkle of sesame seeds, making sure each ingredient contributed to the final product. Soon enough, the stir-fry was done, vibrant, healthy, and cooked to perfection. Ronaldo plated the food, taking a moment to admire the colorful dish in front of him. It was a triumph. He had faced adversity, had been let down by the delivery service, but he had come through on top. He took a deep breath, savoring the moment. This meal, cooked entirely by his own hands, felt more satisfying than any win on the field. After all, this was his time, his moment of victory. He sat down at the kitchen island, fork in hand, and took his first bite. The combination of flavors was perfect. He had done it. Ronaldo, the football legend, had conquered a new challenge, cooking for himself. And in the process, he had learned something valuable. Sometimes, the most unexpected obstacles lead to the greatest rewards. With a satisfied smile, he picked up his phone to leave a review for the delivery service. 5 stars, he typed, but please, next time, send better vegetables. He chuckled to himself. No matter the challenge, he always found a way to rise above. Cristiano Ronaldo's satisfaction from his homemade stir-fry didn't last long before his thoughts returned to the challenge of the evening. The meal was perfect, yes, but there was still that lingering frustration from the earlier mishap. The ordeal had left him with a sense of triumph, but also a sense of unfinished business. He had successfully cooked his meal, but the delivery service had let him down. That wasn't something he could simply forget. Despite the annoyance, Ronaldo's competitive drive, the same spirit that propelled him to greatness on the field, wouldn't let him leave the situation unresolved. He wasn't the type of person to just walk away after a problem. He wanted to make sure things were right, not just for himself, but for others as well. The phone call had been the first step. He had requested a quick resolution, demanding better service and an explanation for the mistake. But as he sat at his kitchen island, taking another bite of the stir-fry, he realized that he needed to push further. This wasn't just about a bad order, it was about setting a standard for quality. If he could take control of his diet, his health, and his environment, why shouldn't he take control over how businesses operated, especially when they let down their customers? His mind raced through the possibilities. He thought of calling the customer service line again, escalating his complaint. But Ronaldo knew that there was a better way, a more personal approach. His fame could be both a tool and a responsibility. He could shine a light on issues like these, maybe even effect some change. He wasn't just a footballer, he was a global figure, someone whose words carried weight. The same way he demanded perfection on the pitch, he could demand it in other parts of life. After finishing his meal, he took a quick shower, letting the warm water soothe his muscles and calm his mind. He wrapped himself in a towel, sat at his desk, and began typing a message on his phone. He wasn't going to let the matter go quietly. To Customer Service, Delivery Service. Subject: Addressing Quality Control. Dear Customer Service Team, I recently placed an order for vegetables through your service. Upon receiving the delivery, I was extremely disappointed to find that the quality of the produce was subpar. The zucchini was soft and discolored, the bell peppers were bruised, and the spinach looked completely wilted. As a regular customer, I expect nothing but the best from your service. Unfortunately, this experience has been a major letdown. I was contacted by one of your representatives and received a replacement delivery shortly after, which I appreciate. However, I believe it's important that you look into the quality control measures in place for your suppliers. Freshness is key when it comes to food, and your company should be held to the highest standards. I'm happy with the resolution, but I'd like to see this issue addressed. Please ensure that your suppliers are taking proper care to deliver the best produce. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo took a moment to review the message, ensuring it conveyed his point clearly. He didn't want to come off as simply a disgruntled customer, he wanted them to know that he was serious. With a few taps, the message was sent. The response wouldn't come immediately, but he felt good about taking the step. The situation was in motion now. Meanwhile, Ronaldo found his thoughts drifting back to his evening. Despite the initial setback, he had learned something about himself, how he could maintain composure in the face of adversity. Cooking had proven to be a true test of patience and persistence. Even after the initial disappointment with the produce, he had managed to turn the situation around, creating a meal that was both healthy and satisfying. And yet, he wasn't done. He couldn't just be content with the outcome of the stir-fry. There was always room for improvement, a lesson he had learned on the football field time and again. The same principle applied to life. Just because he'd successfully completed one task didn't mean he should rest on his laurels. Instead, he saw this as an opportunity to further explore his culinary skills. What else could he create? Could he perfect a recipe for his kids, something they would enjoy after school? The following morning, as Ronaldo sipped his coffee on the terrace of his mansion, the sun rising over the horizon, his phone buzzed. It was the delivery service. His heart skipped a beat, he had been waiting for this moment. He opened the message eagerly. Dear Mr. Ronaldo, thank you for your recent feedback. We sincerely apologize for the quality of the produce you received and for the inconvenience it caused. After reviewing the situation, we have identified a breakdown in quality control from one of our suppliers. We are taking immediate steps to ensure this issue does not happen again. We greatly appreciate your continued support and will ensure that future orders meet your expectations. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to offer you a gift card for your next purchase, and we will ensure that your next order receives the highest quality ingredients. Once again, we apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for bringing this to our attention. Best regards. The customer service team. Ronaldo smiled. The company had acknowledged the mistake, but more importantly, they had acted swiftly. His complaint had led to a direct response, and that was what mattered. It wasn't about being right, it was about ensuring that the right changes were made. He had used his platform to make a difference, and he knew this wasn't just a victory for him but for anyone who relied on the service. He could feel the sense of accomplishment settle in his chest, but there was no time to dwell on it. It was time to move forward. After all, there was always more to be done. Even with this minor victory behind him, Ronaldo had learned one key thing: perfection isn't just about talent or luck, it's about being willing to confront challenges head-on and demanding excellence in everything you do, whether it's in football, cooking, or even the smallest interactions with the world. And so, as the sun climbed higher in the sky, Cristiano Ronaldo's day began. His kitchen was ready for the next challenge, and his resolve was stronger than ever. He wasn't just a footballer, he was a man who would conquer whatever came his way. Thank you very much, see you in the next video.